What's going on, everybody? I'm Jamie, and this is the Blades DDC channel, and today I'm going to be disassembling the Civivi Chevalier. This this is going to be my first button lock, so bear with me. May take longer than normal. We shall see. And I'm going to be lubing this up with the ProShots Zero Friction. Alright, let's get started here. Actually, I'm going to use the good screw today, but if you don't have a good screw, you can use one of these Wiha Bit drivers. They are fantastic. And if I need more torque, I will use that. But I haven't used a good screw in a while, and I feel like I'm in need of a good screw right now, so you know what I'm saying. These T6 or T8? T8. Alright. Wow. That was not tight at all. Surprisingly loose, actually. I've had to tighten the pivot down a couple times already since I got this, because I've been flipping it like crazy. And when I first got it, this thing had a terrible button stick. It was terrible, but it's gone, completely gone already. The action's just gotten better and better with time, and the button stick completely gone away. Alright, now I know there's a spring in here somewhere, so I'm going to go up slow with this because I don't want to lose it. I don't think the pocket clip has to come off. There we go. Stop pin came with it. Alright, so there's our spring. That's what makes our button work right there. We're going to set that on our magnet also to make sure we don't lose it. And let's see how this plunge lock here works. Oh, look at that. They recessed that in there where the plunge lock goes in. You see that? So, all right, interesting, very interesting. Got it. Didn't lose it this time. So that's just cut out where it just lays in there. That's actually a super simple design. I was intimidated by this thing. I thought it was going to be worse than that. This is actually super simple. This should go pretty quickly. Alright, I didn't have the alcohol swab, so I just wet a microfiber with alcohol, rubbing alcohol, which will work just fine. Actually, probably work better. I'm just trying to use up those alcohol wipes. They don't last forever, and I've had them for years, and I don't want them to dry out, so just trying to use up all the ones I had. I still have some, but keep some for my first aid kit. Yeah, these feel really good. These bearings do. Yeah, nice and free. This knife didn't feel dirty at all or gritty at all. The action didn't. It felt really good. Let's check and see, make sure these are ceramic. I'm pretty sure they are. They look like ceramic. They feel like ceramic. Get our magnet. They are ceramic. All right. You know, one thing I already wish about this knife, I should have made that fuller thicker. I've gotten better at it now to where I can get it pretty easily. But if that fuller was just twice as wide, it would be so much better. I don't know why they went so small with it. The only thing I could think of is aesthetics, but yeah. If you're going to put it in there, make it functional. It is functional, don't get me wrong, but if it was larger, it would be much easier to use. Alright. This is a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. For some reason I had it in my mind this thing was going to be a pain in the butt to work on. Kind of like the Spyderco Smock. Spyderco Smock, it's not a pain in the butt really, but it's complicated. Let's just say that. And more complicated than this for sure. Get that turned the right way. There we go. Alright, break out our ProShot and grab us a doodad. Really liking this ProShot. It's working very well in that Civivi backlash. Actually super impressed with it for the price. It's hard to beat. $7.50 for 30 milliliters. I mean, yeah, hard to beat. We'll see how it holds up long term, but so far so good. and it's made for knives and pew-pews and stuff like that, so I'm sure it will hold up just fine. Alright, actually let's go ahead and wipe some of this in the blade also. Reload it. Alright. I did a video earlier unboxing of the Sencut Tynan. I also discussed like some channel updates, and I'm going to start doing at least one live during the week at night and one on the weekends, and probably going to do two at night during the week. I just got to figure out what's the best nights to do it, because I don't want to be doing it while the bigger channels are live. Not that I am concerned with taking anything away from them, but people are going to be watching their shows, you know what I mean? So if I'm gonna, the goal is to make the channel grow, so do it when they're not live, and then maybe I can get some fresh eyes and new eyes in here. All right, let's sit that down for a second, get this blade on here. Alright, that's not going to work like that. Oh yeah, that's where it locks at. See the cutout in the blade right there? Right above the pivot? That's locking into that plunge. So, so when it goes in, there's a spot in there that's going to make it let you pass when you press the spring in, and when it goes out, it locks it in like that. Interesting, very interesting. I was curious about how that would work. And then, yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. Cool thing about disassembling these things is what you can learn. And also, you keep your knife working better with better action. Alright, let's throw this bearing on here. Looby-doob. There was a little bit of lube in here. It wasn't a lot, but there was a little. Alright, where did the spring go? The spring's right there. I think the trickiest part is going to be putting this back together. Right here, this point right here is probably going to be the... Oh, detent hole. There is no detent hole. That's why I didn't do a detent hole. There is no detent hole. Alright, I got to line this up right there. First I gotta have go and get everything out and ready, so I'm not struggling to find stuff. Getting that spring to land right in that spot. Okay. Okay. I think it's in the hole. I think I found the hole in the first try. I'm usually pretty good about finding the hole in the first try, but sometimes, you know, if it's dark and you've had too many drinks, you might miss. Or hit the wrong one, even worse. Alright, I think I'm going to start with this screw in the back here, start at the end and work my way to the pivot. Go ahead and put this on the good screw. And just tighten it down a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and Loctite the pivot on this. And it's blue Loctite, so if I need to adjust things, it's easy enough to break it loose. Alright. I think we're good. Is our C facing the right way? It is not, but I think it will move when I tighten this pivot down. I'm not going to Loctite it yet because I want to see if that C is going to move for me. I'll pull it back out and put Loctite. Okay. I think I over tightened. Loosen that up some, see if that blade goes back to the center. Nope, I didn't tighten enough. There we go. Yeah. Definitely got an issue here. I can feel it. I think it's the pivot. Pretty sure the pivot is... I didn't notice it being a D-shaped pivot, but that C should line up a certain way. I think I've got it wrong. That's easy enough fix. This thing's actually super easy to disassemble and take apart, so that's great. Alright, take two. Let's check that pivot out. I think that's where my issue is at here. Push that up, get the blade to release. Just lean that up right there for now. Leave you right there for now. Stop pin right there for now. Alright, get our C here. Get our C just like that. And what's going to make that C stay like that? There is no D. There's no D-shaped pivot, so what makes that C stay like that? That's my question. Alright. 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 Stop pins in there. Where's the spring at? There's the spring. Put the spring in there. You know, I know that oil isn't going to help the spring work any better, but this is a steel spring. You know what I mean? Should probably just put some lube on it so it doesn't rust. Didn't think about that the first time, but it's probably a good idea, you know. It's definitely not going to hurt it, that's for sure. Alright. Let's see if that C stays where I want it at. The Civivi logo. It's in there. Looks like it's where I want it, but I'm going to start with the pivot this time, actually, instead of working my way to the pivot. Just snug it up a little bit. Keep my finger on the C. Alright. This little thing right here is amazing. It's so good. Got a magnet to hold your screws. Got a place to hold all your bits. Works for the doodads, or you can use the smaller bits in this and put your doodads over here. If one of your doodads you're using, you don't want to get oil and stuff, you can stick it right there while you're using it. I like this little thing. I think I'm going to build myself a little tray out of wood, because I do carpentry work, and incorporate this into it somehow. Build a little slot in it and build it all out of walnut or something. Alright. Alright, we are not centered. Now we are centered. Got buttons, a little bit of button stick again. That's okay. It's probably because the button's been turned a little bit from where it was before. And it's going to have to break in that spot again would be my guess. It's already gone away. Actually, never mind. Button stick's gone already. Reverse flick's still good. If you can get your finger on that fuller. Yeah, why would they make that fuller a little bit bigger, you know? I don't understand. You can get it, but you got to get your nail in it pretty much. It's not sharp enough to where the meat of your finger will catch it very well. I mean, you can get it with your finger, but it works much better than your fingernail in it. But the flipper, whoa! The flipper works great. Still got oil on my hands. Wipe the oil off here. Get a little slippery. Wipe the oil off this wood also. I've been thinking about sanding these scales down a little bit, just sanding the finish that's on them off, and staining them a different color. Maybe like an ebony or a dark walnut. I love walnut wood. That's what this tray, well, you can't see it, this is bamboo, but what's underneath this is walnut. The thing I made is walnut. A little background I made. And that's what I think I'm going to do, is in that thing I made a walnut for my background. I'm going to go ahead and get some 1x solid walnut and make a couple little compartments in it, you know, to put different things. Drill out holes big enough for the oil to sit in. Make a place for this to sit, to hold doodads and drill bits. And this little magnet thing here. So yeah. Alright guys, well that was the disassembly of the Civivi Chevalier. I thought that was going to be much more difficult than it actually was. It's actually extremely simple. Not a whole lot going on to it's very intelligent design actually, the way it's done. It's my first button lock other than a smock, so, and this is nothing like a smock. This is a true button lock, or I guess they call it a plunge lock, but yeah, very simple to work on. Actually, shit, I forgot to Loctite the pivot. That's one thing I have noticed about it, is the pivot screw does come loose fairly easily since it's not, doesn't have any Loctite on it. So let's take care of that right now without everything coming apart on us. Keep some pressure on that. There we go. There we go. So 24 hours off duty with this one. I have to let it sit. Make sure we're centered again. We are centered. Pretty much when this thing is, when that screw gets it slightly snug, which I think I can go as a hair more. Yeah, that screw gets just slightly snug, you're centered. I don't know if they're all like that, but that's how this one is. And that's a good thing. So, alright, so that is going to do it. That is the disassembly and lubing of the Civivi Chevalier. And the Chevalier, just so you know, I looked this up just because I was curious. It comes from the French, and it's certain orders of the knighthood. The modern French orders, when I say orders, I don't mean like commands, they're like groups of people, would be Legion of Honor. So it's a French term, deals with knighthood. Pretty interesting. I don't know why they would call this knife that, but that's what it's called. So, but everyone's going to call it the Chevy Cavalier. That's where it's going to go. We all know it. And I hope they make more of these. You know, I really want micarta, but I don't want a coated blade. So I want them to a natural micarta with a satin blade would be fantastic. Or even black micarta. So many things they could do. So many things they could do. Fat carbon. Why didn't Civivi use fat carbon? Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment if you have any questions. Hit that like button if you appreciate the video. And let me know what you guys think about doing a live show. It would probably be around 7 p.m. Eastern time, my time. And maybe from 7 to 8 or from 8 to 9, something like that. I don't know how many people are on the West Coast that listen or watch, or how many people are on the East Coast. So, yeah, just got to figure out what night others aren't live. There may be somebody live, but there's so many knife channels at this point, it's going to be next to impossible to not compete with someone. But it's not a competition for me. This has nothing to do with competition or making money or anything like that. This is just fun. It's just for fun. So, you guys have a great night, and I'll see you on the next one.